Ladies, listen to me real close right now, because this is one lesson life teaches every man, painfully, slowly, and too damn late. When a man hurts a good woman, he don't just lose her. He loses the mirror that made him see the best in himself. He loses the prayer that protected him, the peace that held him together, and the love that would have carried him farther than his ego ever could. Now, I ain't here to bash nobody. I'm a man. I know the mistakes men make. But there's a difference between messing up and messing up a blessing. See, a good woman ain't loud with her love. She ain't out here putting on a show. She don't love you for what you got. She loves you for who you can become. She'll sit with your demons, help you fight your battles, believe in dreams you ain't even brave enough to speak out loud yet. She'll pour into you when the world drains you. She'll cover your flaws in loyalty and turn your broken pieces into strength. But when you hurt a woman like that shift don't start with screaming. It don't start with threats. It don't start with, "I'm done." No, a good woman leaves in silence. She withdraws her heart before she ever withdraws her presence. She stops explaining herself, stops arguing, stops begging you to see the value she handed you on a silver plate, and you don't even notice at first. Oh no, you think you still got time. But one day the tone changes. The answers get shorter, the eyes don't light up the same. And that laughter you used to hear every day, it turns into quiet. And brother, let me tell you, her silence is the funeral for every chance you ever had. Because when a good woman starts to pull back, she's not falling out of love. She's waking up. She's remembering who she was before she dimmed her light to make you comfortable. A good woman don't walk away quick. She walks away finished. And when she leaves, she don't just take her presence. She takes her peace, her loyalty, her warmth, her future, her prayers, her strength, her patience. And a man don't recover from losing a woman like that. When a good woman walks away, he loses his peace. There's a silence a man never forgets. The silence of a good woman who finally decides she's done trying to be understood, done pleading for effort, done waiting for love to feel like love again. That silence, it hits harder than any argument, any slammed door, any dramatic exit. Because when a good woman walks away, she doesn't just leave physically. She takes her calm, her softness, her prayers, her patience, and the peace she poured into a man's life without asking for much in return. And men don't feel it right away. Lord knows they rarely do. In the beginning, it looks like he won. He thinks he's free. He tells himself, "I still got time. She'll be back. That woman loves me too much to ever leave." And that's what makes the lesson so powerful. He mistakes her silence for softness, her distance for a phase, her goodbye for a warning instead of a decision. But a good woman doesn't repeat herself. When she leaves spiritually before she ever packs a bag. By the time she's walking out that door, her heart already left months ago, quietly, painfully, and without applause. See, when a good woman loves, she is love. She's the peace in the room before she speaks. She's the calm in the storm when life hits. She's the soft voice that tells a man, "You got this?" when the whole world is telling him he doesn't. She's the one reminding him to breathe, reminding him who he is, reminding him what he's capable of. But when you're careless with a woman's heart, when you think she'll always be there, when you take her warmth like it's your birthright, one day you wake up and your world feels cold. You don't even know why at first. You just feel it. The room ain't warm the same. The energy don't hit the same. Even your wins don't feel like wins anymore. He starts to notice the difference in the little things. There's no "drive safe" text. No "how was your day?" No "did you eat?" No arms around him when the world beats him down. Suddenly the music is too loud, the night's too long, the bed too big, and the silence too heavy. That silence used to be filled with her laughter, her kindness, her presence. Now it feels like a punishment. But it's not punishment, it's reality. It's what it feels like when peace leaves. And here's the truth, men don't chase peace until they lose it. They chase excitement, ego, freedom, attention. until life gets loud, until loneliness creeps in, until the world stops clapping and reality sits at the foot of the bed at 2 a.m. whispering, you had something real. You had a woman who loved you without limits and you lost her. That's when peace turns to panic. That's when he scrolls through old messages, rereads her words, hears her laugh in his memory, feels the weight of what used to be and what will never be again. A good woman's peace is not replaceable. A man can find attention anywhere. He can find company anywhere. But peace, real peace, the kind a good woman carries naturally, that type of peace ain't on every corner. That peace don't swipe right. Don't respond to "wid tonight." Don't entertain half-effort and half-grown men. Peace like that is rare. It's earned. It's honored. And once lost, it becomes the ghost he spends years trying to chase in other women, other places, other moments, only to discover you can't rebuild what you disrespected. When she walks away, his spirit feels it before his mind does. His mood changes, his confidence shakes, his laughter becomes shorter, his pride becomes quieter. He starts to realize love wasn't the weakness he ran from. It was the strength he needed. The world gets louder when a woman stops being your quiet. The nights get colder when she stops being your warmth. The future feels scarier when she stops believing in it with you. A good woman has a way of making a man feel like he can take on the world. And when she walks away, that world gets heavier. He may pretend he's fine, post pictures, laugh with friends, live like nothing happened. But there is always a moment, late night, early morning, or somewhere in between, where the truth catches him, where silence becomes memory, where pride becomes regret. And he realizes that peace wasn't the place he lived in, it was the woman he lost. He loses a partner who loved him past his flaws. There's a different kind of pain a man feels when he realizes the woman he lost was the only one who ever loved him past his wounds, past his chaos, past the parts of himself he wasn't proud of. A good woman doesn't just love your strengths. She sees your weaknesses and chooses you anyway. She doesn't stand with you because you're perfect. She stands because she sees the man you can become. And that kind of love, that kind of loyalty, you don't replace that. You don't stumble onto it twice in one lifetime. A good woman sees through the surface. She sees the boy still hurting inside the man. She sees where life failed you, where you failed yourself. She notices that your anger is really pain, your silence is fear, your distance is insecurity. She forgives the emotional walls you never learned how to tear down. She stands by you while life humbles you. She wipes tears you pretend you don't cry. She encourages you when the world mocks your ambition. She holds your hand when your confidence breaks. She believes in the dreams you whispered at midnight, dreams you barely believed yourself. She was the one who saw potential while others saw problems. She held the vision for both of you. She covered your flaws not because she was blind, but because her love could see beyond them. She didn't fall for who you were. She fell for who you could be with the right heart beside you. And she tried to be that heart. She gave you grace you didn't deserve, patience she had to stretch, and forgiveness that cost her peace sometimes. She poured into you like loving you was her calling. She sacrificed pieces of herself, thinking she was helping build something eternal. But here's the part that hurts a man when reality hits. While she was loving your potential, you were wasting hers. While she was protecting your insecurities, you were triggering hers. While she was building, you were doubting. While she was loyal, you were careless. While she was speaking life into you, you were draining life out of her. And you didn't see it because good women don't scream their pain. They internalize it. They swallow the questions, the confusion, the hurt. They tell themselves, love just requires patience, until patience turns into exhaustion and exhaustion turns into clarity. A good woman leaves not because she stopped loving you, but because she finally realized you never planned to meet her at the level she was loving you from. She stops trying to fix what you refuse to grow. And when she walks away, it's not just the woman you lose. It's the version of you she was helping you become. She was your emotional mirror, showing you your greatness when you only saw your failures. She was your voice of reason when pride tried to blind you. She was your stability when life shook you. She was your covering when the world tried to break you. When she leaves, you lose the person who reminded you that you were worthy even on your worst days. Men don't realize how precious that is until they're standing in front of someone new who doesn't have patience for their excuses, who doesn't see potential, only patterns. Someone who doesn't lift but demands, who doesn't heal but triggers, who doesn't build but competes. He realizes too late that love without understanding is just attraction, and attraction without depth is temporary. The women he meets after her, they may be fun, they may be flattering, they may be shiny, but they don't carry that spiritual glue she carried. They don't pray for him when he's asleep. They don't look at him and see legacy. They don't love him where he is while pushing him where he's meant to go. A good woman will love a man through his becoming, but she will not sit forever waiting for him to decide to grow. And once she leaves, he has to face himself raw, without her cushioning his flaws, without her interpreting his emotions, without her reminding him he's capable, chosen. That's when regret has a voice. That's when memories feel like mirrors. That's when late night silence feels like punishment, not peace. Because when a man loses a woman who loved him past his flaws, he doesn't just lose love. He loses the safest place he ever had to transform. He loses the version of you that loved him. There comes a moment in a woman's life when she looks at a man and she once adored and realizes she's not that woman anymore. Not because she stopped loving him all at once, but because her love evolved into wisdom, and wisdom whispered, "You deserve better." The version of you that stayed up at night praying for him, believing in him, fighting for him, tending to his heart while yours was breaking, she slowly fades. And once she is gone, she never comes back the same. See, men think a woman leaves when she walks out the door. No. A good woman leaves emotionally long before she leaves physically. She doesn't walk away, she fades. She unplugs from the emotional power source she used to pour into him. The way she looks at him changes first. The warmth in her body language changes next. Her eyes don't light up when he walks in the room like they used to. Her sighs get heavier. Her silence gets louder. Her patience gets thinner. Her smiles become polite, not genuine. She stops arguing, not because she agrees, but because she no longer cares to convince a man who doesn't listen. And that's what hurts a man the most, when he realizes the love she had for him died quietly, not dramatically. Because heartbreak isn't loud. Transformation isn't loud. Awakening isn't loud. That version of her, the girl who saw him as her future, the woman who dreamed of forever with him, the soul that chose him every single day. She outgrew the fantasy. He loses the woman who would have gone to war for him, even when he was the one wounding her. He loses the version of her who forgave easily, who explained gently, who loved deeply even when it hurt. That woman, she was fragile in her loyalty, powerful in her devotion, and he mistook that for weakness. There is no pain greater for a man than watching a good woman turn into someone he no longer recognizes. Not because she changed for the worse, but because she finally changed for herself. She becomes stronger, smarter, more guarded. She doesn't love recklessly anymore. She loves selectively. She doesn't fight for attention. She protects her peace. She doesn't screen souls. She learns the lesson she begged him to teach herself. Respect comes before attachment. And when she transforms, oh, he feels it. He feels it in the moments where she used to reach for him, and now she reaches for herself. He feels it in the times she would have texted to check on him, but now her phone stays silent. He feels it when he opens his messages and sees no new ones. He feels it when he tries to joke, and the laughter he counts on doesn't come. Suddenly he realizes he is talking to a woman who no longer lives in the emotional home he once occupied. He's talking to a healed version of her. And healed women don't chase, beg, or rewind chapters that broke them. Men learn the hard way that the most expensive thing in this world isn't jewelry or cars or status. It's a woman who loved you sincerely. Because once she stops loving you, the world loses color. Conversations lose depth. Nights lose comfort. And no matter who he tries to replace her with, it never feels the same. Not because she was perfect, but because she was authentic. She didn't love him out of convenience. She loved him out of soul connection. And soul connections don't regrow once they've been burned through betrayal, neglect, or disrespect. That old version of her, the woman who believed his excuses, who softened every time he apologized, who forgave instead of walked away, who saw his potential and ignored his patterns. She's gone. And she didn't leave to spite him. She left to save herself. She looked in the mirror one day and said, I can't keep loving someone who refuses to meet me where I stand. She rose. And rising women never climb back down to where they cried. A man can beg, he can apologize, he can reflect on everything he could have done differently. But what he truly mourns is the version of her that loved him without hesitation. And he will search for that woman in every face he meets, in every heart he touches, in every moment he tries to recreate, and he will fail. Because he didn't just lose her, he lost the rare gift of being fully loved by the version of a woman who hadn't yet learned to protect her heart from him. He loses his influence over you. There comes a moment in every good woman's journey when she realizes a truth so powerful, it shifts her entire spirit. He no longer has power over me. And let me tell you that moment, that awakening. That is the earthquake a man never sees coming. The one that shatters his comfort, shakes his ego, and exposes the truth he tried to ignore. Because influence is power. Influence is access. Influence is control. And once a woman takes that back, a man's world changes in ways he never prepared for. See, at one point, this man had emotional influence over her. Not because she was weak, but because she loved him. Love makes you vulnerable in places strength normally guards. Love makes you consider somebody else's feelings before your own. Love makes you stretch, bend, forgive, try, pray, show up, and sometimes overextend. When a woman loves deeply, she lets a man's words matter. His silence matters. His moods matter. His approval matters. His presence, even when inconsistent, mattered. Her emotions moved when his did. That's not weakness. That's devotion. But when a man misuses that influence, when he takes advantage of her loyalty, when he plays with her feelings because he knows she cares, when he knows she'll forgive, knows she'll stay, knows she'll keep loving through the pain, that is when the shift begins, slowly, quietly. Quiet changes are the deadliest ones because they don't announce themselves. They reveal themselves. A woman doesn't wake up and suddenly stop caring. That influence breaks piece by piece. Each lie chips at it. Every dismissive comment weakens it. Each time she feels unseen, unheard, unvalued, the spell wears off. She starts noticing things she used to excuse. She hears tone differently. She watches actions instead of listening to promises. His irresponsibility stops looking like stress and starts looking like pattern. His disrespect stops feeling like a moment and starts looking like a habit. His inconsistency stops feeling complicated and starts looking like clarity. And then one day, that emotional cord that tied her heart to his, it snaps, not out of anger, but out of awareness. She stops reacting. She stops needing answers. She stops needing closure from him because closure came from within her. He raises his voice. She stays calm. He pulls away. She doesn't chase. He goes quiet. She finds peace in the silence. He tries to play mind games and she doesn't move. That's when he realizes she's no longer under his emotional gravity. He lost the influence he once took for granted. And men feel that shift in their soul because influence wasn't about control. It was about connection. It was about knowing she cared enough to fight, to cry, to ask why, to worry, to pray. When she no longer reacts, he realizes she is seeing him clearly without the lens of love that once protected him. And once a woman sees a man clearly without emotional fog, he can't hide behind charm, excuses, or promises anymore. She sees the truth, not the potential. He tries to say sweet things. They don't work. He tries disappearing. She doesn't chase. He tries breadcrumbing. She doesn't bite. He tries jealousy games. She's unbothered. He tries coming back with smooth apologies. She hears emptiness where she used to hear effort. She isn't mad. She isn't bitter. She's just done. And nothing is more terrifying to a man than a woman who is done without shouting, crying, accusing, or proving. A quiet exit is the loudest message a woman ever sends, because when she removes him from the throne he never earned in her heart, he becomes ordinary. The spell lifts. The illusion breaks. She sees him not as the man she hoped he would become, but as the man he chose to be. And let me tell you something, once respect leaves, love doesn't stay much longer. Influence dies when admiration dies. Influence dies when trust dies. Influence dies when she learns to choose herself. He loses the ability to affect her mood, her mind, her decisions, her peace. And that right there is where a man truly realizes what he had. Not when she cried over him, but when she stopped. Not when she questioned where they stood, but when she no longer cared. Not when she fought to keep him, but when she walked away with dignity and didn't look back. A man never fears losing a woman's love. He fears losing her attention, her loyalty, her availability, her emotional devotion. And when you take those back, baby, you didn't just leave him, you freed yourself. He loses the future you would have built together. When a man hurts a good woman, he isn't just losing the present version of her. He's losing the future that was waiting for him because of her. A good woman doesn't love for the moment. She loves with vision. She sees tomorrow. She plans ahead. She invests in what could be, not just what is. A good woman doesn't just date. She builds. She dreams not only for herself, but for the two of them. And when she walks away because he chose ego, disrespect, or comfort over growth and loyalty, he doesn't just lose her. He loses the life she was quietly constructing around him. A good woman brings direction, purpose, stability, and hope. She's the one reminding him that he's capable of greatness when life tries to convince him otherwise. She's the one thinking about the home you both would have shared, the trips you would have taken, the kids you might have raised, the peace you both would have enjoyed. She's rearranging her life to include him, shaping a future where he wins, where both of you rise together. She's laying bricks for a forever foundation, even if he never noticed. So when he hurts her, when he breaks her trust and pushes her to the point of emotional exhaustion, he's not just losing a woman. He's losing legacy. He's losing stability. He's losing the partner who would have celebrated his victories harder than he did himself. He's losing the woman who would have stood beside him in storms and sunshine. The woman who would have made sure he never faced life alone. Not financially, not emotionally, not spiritually. Here's the truth most men don't realize in time. Not every woman is thinking about building a life. Some women are just passing through. But a good woman, she's laying down roots. She's mapping out dreams. And she's doing it with loyalty and love as her foundation. When she leaves, she doesn't just take her presence. She takes her plans. She takes the future wins she was preparing him for. She takes the greatness she was ready to grow inside him. Without her, he has to face a life where he doesn't just screw up in the present. He rewrites his future. And it doesn't look as bright anymore. A man rarely feels that loss immediately. In the beginning, he thinks freedom feels good. He thinks the grass might be greener. He thinks he'll be fine without her. But when life hits him, when he chases temporary attention, only to realize it's empty, when he looks around and no one is building with him, no one is dreaming with him, no one is praying for him, supporting him, protecting his heart like she did, that's when the truth hits hard. He begins to understand that love like hers wasn't ordinary. It was destiny-level love, foundation love, soul love. And you, the good woman, you don't just lose, you transform. You don't crumble, you learn, you rise. You grow into a stronger version of yourself. You start building a future for you, not because you gave up on love, but because you finally remembered you deserve someone who values the future you bring. You realize you weren't asking for too much. You were giving too much to someone who didn't know what to do with your heart. And that shift, that's powerful. Ladies, hear me, you are not someone's maybe. You are someone's answered prayer. You are someone's future blessing. You are someone's peace, someone's purpose partner, someone's forever. The man who breaks a good woman doesn't just lose her. He loses a lifetime he never even got to grow into. And the moment you walk away, you don't lose your future, you reclaim it. You put it in the hands of someone worthy, someone ready, someone who won't destroy what you're working so hard to build. The future is not lost. It just won't be spent with him. And that right there, that's not your loss, that's his. Always remember that. He loses his own growth. When a man hurts a good woman, he doesn't just push her away, he stunts his own evolution. A good woman isn't just a partner, she's a mirror, a guide, a quiet force that elevates a man without announcing it. She challenges him to be better, not because she demands perfection, but because she sees who he could be. Her love isn't only affection, it's direction. She pours into him emotionally, mentally, spiritually, encouraging him to stretch beyond his excuses and step into the man he was capable of becoming. When he loses her, he doesn't just lose love, he loses growth. A good woman doesn't criticize to tear down, she encourages to build. She doesn't nag, she nurtures potential. She sees pieces of greatness in him that he might overlook in himself. She pushes him to chase goals, to break cycles, to heal wounds, to rise above weakness. She celebrates his small wins and stands firm through his low moments. She teaches patience, resilience, communication, empathy, not through lecture, but through example. She inspires him to speak better, listen better, treat people better. When she's gone, the lessons remain, but the momentum disappears. Because a good woman doesn't just love him, she grows with him. She grows him. She pushes him to become the man he promised to be, not just the man he currently is. She sees the seed, not just the soil. She waters his spirit, protects his mind, and helps him believe in things he never believed he deserved. Stability, loyalty, a home filled with peace, a heart filled with purpose. She's not just by his side, she's behind him, beside him, and ahead of him all at once, guiding his steps without needing credit for it. When a man hurts a woman like that, he loses access to the growth she cultivates. He loses the soft voice that reminds him to calm down before reacting. He loses the loving correction that keeps him grounded. He loses the reminder that he is capable of more. Without her, he may still grow, but it will be slower, lonelier, and often only after life forces lessons on him that she would have helped him learn with love. He loses progression and falls back into patterns, ego instead of humility, pride instead of understanding, habits instead of healing. He goes from evolving to repeating. And here's the truth, men don't just need love. They need structure, they need emotional guidance. A good woman brings that. She softens where the world hardens. She soothes where life wounds. She gives a man a safe space to dream boldly and rest deeply. When he breaks that bond, he also breaks a source of emotional intelligence and maturity that he didn't realize was teaching him daily. So eventually, he finds himself surrounded by temporary distractions instead of meaningful progress. He finds noise where she once gave clarity. He finds chaos where she once built calm. He sees life move forward but feels himself stuck in place, repeating the same cycles with different faces because the woman who helped him grow is gone. And for you, the good woman, understand this, your love was a blessing, not a burden. You weren't too much. You were everything he wasn't ready to grow into. You didn't fail. You simply outgrew the space he stayed complacent in. A good woman's departure isn't a collapse. It's a rebirth. When he loses you, the world doesn't fall apart. His world does. Because he loses the woman who pushed him to evolve beyond his limits. And while he remains stuck in who he was, you rise into who you were always meant to be. So don't regret loving deeply. Regret would belong to the one who misused that love. Your heart didn't make you weak. It made him stronger even if he never acknowledged it. And when you walk away, his growth loses momentum, but yours gains wings because you don't lose when you leave. You expand. You don't break. You bloom. The man who hurts a good woman doesn't just lose her. He loses the chance to grow into his best version while she steps into hers. Stand tall, queen. Ladies, hear me loud and clear. You are not broken. You are reborn. That heartbreak did not ruin you. It revealed you. It stripped away who you thought you needed to be and returned you to the woman you were destined to become. A good woman doesn't fall apart. She rises. She rebuilds. She evolves into someone even stronger, even wiser, even more powerful than before. Stop shrinking so someone else can feel big. Stop begging to be noticed by someone who couldn't recognize a blessing standing right in front of him. Stop auditioning for a role you already earned. Your value was never in his hands. It was always in yours. You are the peace he couldn't protect, the loyalty he couldn't honor, the future he didn't have the maturity to grow into. Not everyone deserves the softness of your heart or the sanctuary of your presence. Today, you take yourself back. You stand up straighter, breathe deeper, and say with pride, if you couldn't value me, you will never have me again. The woman who tolerated the bare minimum, she's gone. In her place stands a queen, crowned by pain, strengthened by healing, unstoppable in purpose. Walk forward like the world belongs to you, because it does. Let him watch from a distance. Regret always shows up late, but it always shows up. You are not his loss. He is yours. Now go reclaim your life, your joy, and your crown.